Welcome to the 15th round of the 2010 GP4 Offline Championship. I am George Roke, your commentator for the series, and we're here for the Singapore Grand Prix at the Marina Bay Street Circuit. So first of all, let's go through the race rating and the driver of the day. So the race rating was given a 7.5 out of 10, or 7.5 out of 10. I think deserved. I think the race was pretty exciting. And the driver of the day was, of course, given to Will Nenner, the winner of the Grand Prix. Some team news for this race also is that Mercedes have decided to keep both Felix Sonntag and Alex Southgate 2011. Not really a surprise to, well, anyone, I think. I think we all knew that was going to happen, but yes. So I'd just also like to point out, if the audio quality doesn't sound as good for this week, it's because I'm using my old computer, because my current one is in repairs. So I apologise if the audio is not that good. But we're here for the Singapore Grand Prix, which hosted probably the most boring race last year. Only, I think, about a 25-minute highlight video last season, which proves this circuit isn't exactly great for overtaking, but also got the Singapore sling and everything in this race. But anyway, we are here. Let's go to the grid. So on pole position, or on the front row, I should say, we've got Florian Volker and James Willis, a Red Bull front row, with Nicolas Gal third, Will Nenner in fourth, Joseph Willis fifth, and Evan Burton impressive sixth for Renault. Seventh place is Jay McKenzie, followed by Amar Carr, a very impressive eighth from him. In the Toro Rosso, definitely his best qualifying so far this season. In ninth place is Felix Sonntag, followed by his teammate at Southgate, just being confirmed, obviously, as teammates for the 2011 season. In 11th place is Adam Wolff, followed by Renaud Moitin in 12th. And as we go further down the order, in 13th place will be the Ferrari Waze Cooper. A poor qualifying from him. I don't really know what was going on for him in quali. It just didn't really go well for him, you'd have to say. And as we go further down the order, we have Sam Thompson 15th, followed by Viggo Holst in 16th place. Holst, who of course will be going to Force India next season, which means that obviously George Roke, in the current Force India just ahead of him, is a free agent. 17th place is Robert Ionescu. There's question marks over where he will go next season, although it's rumoured he'll most likely stay at Toro Rosso. Jordan Maturin in the 18th, Kelly Bryce in 19th, Finlay Strachan. There's also rumours as to where he may go for next season, and at the back of the grid are two Lotus drivers of Romain Quarg and Michael Mocho. So that is the grid. So let's go now and see the weather to see how the weather will influence the race. As you can see, it is sunshine under the night sky, no chance of rain whatsoever. So let's head to the grid, I shall say. I would say I'm looking forward to this race, but obviously, as we know, this race hasn't been particularly exciting. But anyway, let's head towards the grid. And here we are on the grid. It's 61 laps of this race, so it is a very, very long race. As we are on the grid now, the lights are about to come on. And now we have 1 light, 2 light, 3 lights, 4 lights, and 5 lights. And the lights are out and away we go. And who's going to get a good start at turn 1? It looks like Volker has got the jump on James Willis, and it looks like Gal has got past Willis as well, and yes, he has. So it's not a good start by James Willis. Gal makes his way up into second place, and I think Joseph Willis, his brother, has got past James, and I think McKenzie has as well. So it's a horrendous start by James Willis. He's dropped all the way down to 5th. Not the start that he would have wanted at all, and Volker has got away, and this is key for the championship, because Volker needs to win this race, having retired from last week's race after the collision with Michael Mocho. As now we come down Raffles Boulevard into turn 6. And now is Gal going to try and make a move on Volker, but no, he doesn't, as now Willis is trying to get back past McKenzie, and Nella and Evan Byrne behind are battling as well. As Nella goes wide, and the Mercedes of Felix Sonntag goes past, and he just gets ahead of the Toro Rosso there. But so far it looks like we have all avoided contact in this race, as Gal is in second place. He's right behind Volker, with Joseph Willis third, McKenzie in 4th, Willis in 5th, Byrne in 6th, Sonntag in 7th, Nella in 8th. Carr in 9th, and Alex Southgate complete the top 10. Oh, there's a collision there, and Romain Moitin has gone into the back of the Williams of Adam Wolff, I believe it is. And oh my goodness me, well, I was saying that we'd had a clean start, but not anymore. But they're not out of the race, but unfortunately for Wolff and Moitin, their races are ruined. There's Roke trying to get past, and Waze Cooper there held up behind as well. So let's go and have it on board to see what happens. So as we were coming into the Singapore sling for the first time, and Moitin just didn't seem to slow down, just went careering into the back of Wolff there. I don't know what Moitin was thinking there, but well, that was just really real stupidity there from the Hungarian driver. Moitin, who obviously will be staying at Force India next season. They've not had a great season for Force India, both Roke and Moitin, although Roke has had probably the worst season out of everyone. only scored 2 6th place finishes, but has had probably the worst bit of bad luck out of anyone this season. I mean, he's got something from Waze Kuba and got something from Moichin. He's got something from maybe probably Michael Mocho as well. But like someone has given him something to have all this bad luck. I don't know what it is, but anyways, they come through the final couple of corners. So they come into the 2 final corners, 2 double left-handers to complete the first lap to all the drivers. So they just come through the tunnel there under the stadium. As Moichin comes through, as you can see, Gal sets the fastest out of the pace. He's not leading the race, I don't think. He's in 2nd place. It shows the pace that Gal has so far, as Moichin just gets into the pits right in front of the Lotus and the Virgin there. And so does Alan Wolf behind him. So those two go into the pits, so that is their 2 races. Well, you could say ruined, but we'll see if they do manage to get anything out of the race, but we will see. As Moichin comes into the pits, Wolf into the pits as well for Williams, as Gal is still right behind Florian Volker out in front of him. As can Gal make a move? It's not very easy to overtake on the second. And oh, Nella's gone wide, it looks like, and Southkit's right behind him. He's dropped a place to Armand Carr on the Toro Rosso. So what's happened there? I don't know what, but we've got a yellow flag out. And what's happened here? Is there a car off? Yes, it is. It's Finley Strachan in the Sauber. He's gone wide at turn 1. And what has happened to him as he goes across the Singtel sign? And so, oh, he seemed to have a spin. He was trying to overtake the Virgin of Kellen Bryce. As he comes into turn 1, oh, he just loses the car right in front of Bryce. That's probably a nice show there for the crowd, but that was nearly, could have been a very nasty accident. So let's go on board with Kellen Bryce here, number 98 car. So he was coming past the finish line, and you can see Strachan on his inside and just spins right out in front of him. Makes a nice little onboard view there for Bryce. And we have another yellow flag out as well. What has happened here? And it's, oh, it's Joseph Willers again! Joseph Willers again! That is absolutely unbelievable. He is also, as well, like George Roke, his fellow Brit, has had a spate of problems this season, and it's a suspension failure which has put him out of the race as well. Absolutely unbelievable. Joseph right now, Willows, as put through by some other people in the paddock. I mean, there's a commentator that says that usually calls him right now, but I'm not sure who that is really, but his name will probably come to mind. But as Joseph Willis' car hits the wall, he's actually going precariously close to the track. But he manages to stop, fortunately, so he's not on the racing line, so it's not a problem. But Joseph Willis' horrendous season continues. He has won a race this season. He won the German Grand Prix at Hockenheim, but that is the only, I suppose, success he's really had this season. Apart from that, he's just not really had anything else. As now Strachan is on the inside of it. Looks like, is this Jordan Maturin coming through in the hairpin as they come before the tunnel under the stadium, and Strachan makes the move stick past Jordan Maturin as they come through the left right-hander. This is where a number of incidents happened, especially in the GP2 race, where it was known that Rifki Fakhrizadeh crashed out of the lead, which shocked many people, as we've now got another yellow flag out. And oh, that's George Roke in the Force India. Speaking of bad luck, his horrendous season continues, so he spins out, coming through Raffles Boulevard. And so it was a battle with Robert Ionescu, and I mean, Ionescu was on the inside and Roke just went wide over the curbs, and he spun. Fortunately, none of the cars behind him hit him, but I mean, Roke, I mean, he did move out a bit, but I think a bit too much as he went over the curbs and lost control of the car. So fortunately, as I said, no one hit him, but that was a spin there for Roke as the version of Bryce, and there goes Roman Quag, goes past him as well, so he loses a couple of positions there. Roke is now on lap 5. Roke rejoined in 15th place, pointing obviously his teammate in 19th, having been involved in that first lap incident. Joseph Willers obviously out the race as well. We've got another yellow flag out, so what's happened now? And oh, it's James Willers is out the race. James Willers is out of the race. That is going to put a big dent in his title chances, and this will be fantastic for Florian Volker to get something back after retiring last week at Monza. And it looks like it's a crash. It is at that infamous chicane. So what has happened here? So he was battling Evan Burns, and Felix Sontag in front of him. And he just comes through and he just gets a bit out of shape. He gets understeer and he goes wide, and Sontag nearly, I think, hits a bit of debris there actually from Willis' car, but he gets away with it and everyone else just slithers through. But that was a bad mistake there by James Willis. He will not want to do that again if he wants to get himself the championship. Volker can't actually win the championship here. He could have won the championship if he'd got well, a decent points finish at Monza, but it won't be happening here as Roke, I think, hits the wheel there as they come through. As now Finley Strachan comes through past the Lotus of Michael Mocho, and he moves up into 15th place. And now he's got George Roke in the Force India in front of him as they come through turns 1, 2 and 3. As they now come through 4, and now as they head into 5 down the only straight from the circuit, as now Waze Kuba's moved as well. He's already got up to 6th place from 30th on the grid, so good recovery so far from Kuba, as he gets past Amar Kar in the Toro Rosso. So this is a good race so far from Kuba, who's had a mixed season. He's not been as good as Will Nella, but it'll be interesting to see who will get the Ferrari seat next season. There are a few rumours as to who it could be, and to be honest, I think I probably know who it is, but I'm not going to say it, just so I don't really give it away. But as I said, I'm not sure, but I do have a good idea, as Thompson goes past Kenny and Bryce there, and Bryce goes wide over the curves. Fortunately, doesn't lose the car, as now Vinny Strachan moves up the order again. This time he goes past Roman Quag. Is he going to make the move stick? And yes, he does, as Quag goes wide onto the curves, and that is Quag up into 30th place. Vinny Strachan in 12th at the moment. He's recovering up the order from his spin. As now into the pits comes Waze Kuba, the Belgian, for Ferrari. So let's see how quick this stop will be from the Ferrari pit crew. 15 laps. So it looks like he'll probably go for maybe a 3-stop strategy. I mean, I think it is quite early to do a 2-stop, but he could do it if he lost the tyres, but I'm not sure about that yet. But we will see it come the end of the race. So let's see the stop he does. It's a 7.8 second stop, as Kuba will come out in 11th place. He just comes out ahead of Roman Quag there, so well done to him, as now coming through the order is Roland Mojin for Force India, and he makes the move up to 16th place past Jordan Maturin as they come through 1, 2 and 3. So 19 laps. Doesn't look like there's been that much action so far in this race, as I suppose people could say it was to be expected, and I think I probably expected it as well. Now into the pits comes Evan Byrne for Renault. Let's see how quick this stop will be from him as he comes out the pits, and it will be... Will it show it, or will it not? We will see as he comes out the pits. It's a 9.1 second stop, so an average stop, I suppose you could say, from the Renault crew. Jay McKenzie comes into the pits for Renault. He's had an impressive race so far. Moved up into 4th place after the, well, actually 3rd, I believe it was actually, after both Willow's drivers retiring. So let's see where he will come out. It's an 8.2 second stop, so it's a good stop there from McKenzie, I have to say, as there's a yellow flag out. And who's that? And oh, it's his teammate Evan Burns out the race. And where is that? I think that might be coming out from just from under the stadium. I think it is. I believe that's where it is. And yes, it is. So he goes under the stadium. So does he have a mechanical problem, or does he crash? The answer is, oh, he crashes. So he looks like he goes over the curb a bit too much. That unsettles the car, and he goes straight into the wall. And Ian Escu is lucky not to hit any debris there, as the Lotus of Roman Quad comes through. Now Miklos Gal from McLaren is in the bits, so it's a 7.5 second stop, so a very quick stop, I should say, from the McLaren boys. So there's Felix Sontag, who's also making his way into the pits for Mercedes. And let's see how quick this stop will be. Sontag, who's had a pretty good season so far. He's been known for his 4th place finishes, and I suppose the luck that he has with 4th place and whatnot, or the number 4, whatever it is. So we'll see if he can get maybe a podium. I think 4th place will probably be on the cards, but we will see come the end of the race. So it's an 8.2 second stop from Mercedes. Kenzie goes past him, so it looks like it will be 4th place at the moment. As Sontag comes out, 8.2 looks like in 8th place. So now Amar Kar, who's gone up to 3rd, but he'll obviously make his first pit stop. Quite a dangerous pit entry, you could say, as now this is Waze Kuba trying to get past, I believe this is Alex Southgate in the Mercedes, and he goes on the inside, and has he made the move stick? No, he has not. Southgate holds it around the outside. Looks like he went over the curves a bit, maybe off track, to stay ahead of Waze Kuba, but anyways, we look at Amar Kar in the pits for the first time, so obviously he will be fueled for another stop. So let's see how quick this stop will be. An 8.1 second stop from Kar, so a pretty good one, I have to say. So let's see where he comes out. Will he stay in the top 10? Looks like he will. Come out just ahead of Roman Quag in the Lotus. Now here is the two Toro Rossos battling each other. So Ian Escu ahead of Kar, and then Holst and Strachan behind. So we could have a nice little battle on our hands here as they come through the stadium. And as we can see, let's see who will make the move stick. So I believe it is Ian Escu who's at the front of this, because I believe he has not yet made his first stop. So will he make the move coming into the final corner? Yes, he does. He just comes out, he just goes in, ducks in ahead of Amar Kar. So that gives a chance for the two Saubers, Strachan at the first one, and then Holst behind him to attack into turn 1, as we are on board with Ian Escu coming into the pits So it'll be interesting to see if they have made a move into turn 1, as they were right behind, so they probably have the slipstream, and I suppose as they come across the line they'll have Kurz as well, as Ionescu comes out of the pits. 8.2 seconds stop, so not bad from the Toro Rosso pit crew there. And where will he come out on track? It looks like he'll come out in 12th place behind George Rowe, and he'll be a lap down now, as there goes Florian Volker, the race leader, who I don't know if he's actually made a stop yet. I don't think we've actually seen it on camera, so to speak. But now into the pits comes Alex Southgate. Let's see how quick this stop will be for him. He'll be fueled obviously for another stop as well. And where will he come out on track? That'll be interesting to see. And he will be, so he drops to 7th place, he drops to 8th. Will he be outside the point? Yes, he will. He'll be dropped down into 10th. But he'll have the fresher tyres, so he'll be able to make up positions to the other drivers at the pit. So it looks like Strachan and Holst still hadn't got past, judging by the graphics on the bottom of the screen there, as now Florian Volker comes into the pits. He nearly actually ran out of fuel. He went for another lap, he probably would have run out of fuel, so good thing they got him in when he did. So Volker, I believe this is his first pit stop, unless we've missed it, but I don't think we have. So Volker comes out of the pits, so it'll be interesting to see. He's not fueled to the end, so he'll have to make another stop. So Volker will come out in 2nd place. And he'll come out just ahead of Waze Cooper, with Nicolas Gau at the moment in the lead of the Grand Prix. There's Maturin and Mocho there, as Gau is there going down the pit straight. As now into the pits comes Waze Cooper for Ferrari. So let's see how quick the stop will be. This will probably be, well actually I don't think it will be his last stop, since he made his first stop not too long ago, so I think he will obviously have to have another stop again, I believe, unless he can put these tyres to the end, but I don't think he'll be able to do 30 laps on one set of tyres, but we will see. As Alan Wolf comes into the pits there for Williams. On our car there, just going past, as Alan Wolf, his race got off to obviously the worst start, being hit by Roland Moichin at the back, so he had to pit. So Alan Wolf comes out. Where will he come out will be the big question. Well, that's the big question. He'll come out. Well, he'll come out last. That's where he'll come out. Don't really know why I even asked that, to be honest. So now here we are on board with Roman Quark battling with, I believe that this is George Roque, and I believe this is Armar Carr. So Carr's making the move into turn 1, and he makes it stick. And does he get it past Roque as well? No, he doesn't. He stays behind him, but Roque, who I don't think he has made a stop either this race. So now we're on board with Alex Southgate, who's right behind Will Neller in the Ferrari. Is he going to make a move into turn 1? The answer is no, he's not. As they now head into turn 3, and oh, Southgate goes a bit wide, and fortunately manages to avoid the barrier. But that was nearly a scary moment there for Alex Southgate, who could have cost himself a chance of could have cost himself a chance of points there, had he gone into the wall. So now here we are on board with Jay McKenzie in the Renault, and he goes wide as well, and he manages to just stop it in time to avoid the wall. Quite lucky there from Jay McKenzie. He might have saved himself the race there, so he's quite lucky to get away with that one. But he remains in this race. We're now on lap 35, so we are essentially at the halfway point. As now we're on board with Waze Cooper, who's having a go at Jay McKenzie. McKenzie tries to force him out, but Cooper, has he got it into turn 1? I think he has, because McKenzie's gone wide onto the AstroTurf, and he has gone down to 5th place. Cooper's up to 4th, so Cooper's on a mission here. Sondheim is in 3rd place, but I mean, Cooper will have to make another stop. But it'll be interesting to see if he'll get Sondheim before the end. That will be one race to look out for. Oh no, that's Vinny Strachan. Vinny Strachan in the Saubers out the race. So what has happened to him? He was making a great recovery from the spin from Kelly and Bryson. Nicolas Gau's hit his debris, and that might have just cost Nicolas Gau the race there, because Volker is right behind. And oh my goodness me, I mean, if Volker does have to make another stop, but oh my god, I think that might have just cost Gau the race right there. So what actually happened? So Strachan was running in 10th place. He was running behind Viggo Holst, his teammate. So he was coming through, and you can see he just has a bit of understanding, just hits the wall. And then Gau, does he hit the wheel? I think he must hit the wheel. That's the only reason why he would have lost his front wing. So he comes through, and oh yes, he does. Look at that, he hits the wheel. Oh my goodness me, and that, as I said, might have just cost Nicolas Gau the race here. That might have just gifted it to Florian Volker. And what dramatic scenes we have in this race, and that could impact the championship very well, or big chance of affecting it in the championship. As you can see, finish track and confirmed out of the race, but Gal will have to make another pit stop, and that will cost him dearly. So I mean, Volker will have to probably make another stop, but he'll still, I think, get out in front of Nicolas Gal. But oh my goodness me, that will not go down well for him. But Nicolas Gal comes out the pits. Gal, who has won a race so far this year, but I mean, he's had a decent championship, but he certainly had it better than Joseph Willis has had for sure. But well, Gal comes out the pits. He'll come out in second place as now Amar Khan comes out the pits for Toro Rosso, an 8.4 second stop from the Toro Rosso crew. And let's see where he will come out. Looks like he'll come out in 9th place. 8.4 second stop, as I said. And will he drop any more positions? No, he doesn't. He's in clear air, so that's good for him. Holton 8th, Volker in 1st. They've lapped actually already. Lapped only up to 8th place is on the lead lap right now, so the pace of the front runners is quite big as it seems. As now Roman Quag for Lotus comes into the pits. Quag, the Frenchman, in his first season in the F1 series. I mean, you could say it's been a decent season, although obviously Mocho has outscored Quag, with Quag getting 3 points, with Mocho getting 3 points, whereas Quag has only got 1. As obviously Mocho scored those 3 points at the Chinese Grand Prix, a race which shocked everyone as to how he did so well in the wet conditions. But anyway, Quag comes up the pits a 9.5 second stop, and he will come out in 13th place, it looks like. And yes, he does. Now Felix Sonntag, as you can see on the graphic there, is in the pits himself, as he just comes out behind the Ferrari, does Quag. Felix Sonntag comes in the pits for, I imagine, his final stop of the Grand Prix. He's in 5th place at the moment. So where will he come out on track? 5.7 second stop. That is pretty quick, actually, I have to say. Very, very quick indeed. So he comes out in 6th. Alex Southgate's coming into the pits for Mercedes for the first time. Well, for the last time, I should say. Let's see how quick the stop will be for him. As you can see, it will fuel him to the end. And where will Alex Southgate come out on track as now Will Nella, also for Ferraris in the pits. So Nella, who can't unfortunately do as well as he did in Italy by, well, getting a podium or at least winning the Grand Prix. I mean, we don't obviously know if that will be Nella's last win. Let's hope it won't be, but unfortunately Nella, who does still have a chance of winning the title, I just don't think unfortunately he's going to be able to do it this season. I mean, he's definitely been the best driver to have not won the championship. Now Florian Volker does come in for his final stop of the Grand Prix, so I was right obviously that he was going to have to make another stop. So this will be good for him. So Gal, who I think will probably have to make a final stop as well, will probably win the race. I think that's what we can say. As there's Gal just about to come through the final couple of corners. He comes through the chicane. As Volker just comes out the pits, he comes out, looks like just behind Ionescu. Gal just coming down the pit straight now, but Volker will get out in front, so it's looking all good for him at the moment. So unless Gal can close up on him, but actually I think I'm going to think of it, I don't actually know if Gal will have to make another stop yet. But anyway, it looks good for Florian Volker at the moment. It doesn't look like anyone's going to be able to catch him, and we now have a battle here for 6th place between Viggo Holst, Alex Southgate and Amar Khan. Will Nella and Knight just behind him. We've got a 4-man battle for 6th place right here, as Southgate is right behind Holst. It's come through Raphael's Boulevard, and Southgate's going to make a move on Holst. Coming into the left-hander, is he going to make the move stick? No, he doesn't. But Nella, however, is going to make the move on Amar Khan's stick, and he is up into the points now. So good move there by Will Nella, and now he's going to be right behind Southgate and Holst as they are about to come through the Singapore Sling. As Volker might be catching up these guys soon, actually, if they keep battling on. And Southgate tries to make a move on Holst. It doesn't quite work. Carr tries to make a move back on Will Nella, but that won't work because I mean, two into one through the Singapore Sling is not going to do it. As speaking of Ferrari, Waste Kuba comes into the pits for his final stop of the Grand Prix on lap 47. So let's see how quick this stop is. A 7.8 second stop for him. So a pretty good stop from the Ferrari crew. So it looks like he'll come out behind Felix Sonntag, but I imagine he'll probably have the tyres to catch up to Sonntag, because there's Kuba and there's Sonntag. So it looks like Kuba, is he going to come out just behind him? Yes, he does. And here is Kuba, he's already caught up to Sonntag, and he's surely going to make the move coming into the left hander at the end of the straight. And is he still side by side? But Sonntag's got the outside, now the inside for the right hander, as they now come into the next left hander before the Singapore Sling. And Will Cooper try and make a move coming into the Singapore Sling? It'll be interesting to see. He's got the fresher tyres. Will he make the move? And the answer is, it looks like he will. And oh, he makes contact with Sontag and he pushes him wide onto the curbs. Very ruthless there from Cooper, but he makes it stick, and that is the podium for him. And Sontag is down to P4. I don't know if there'll be an investigation into that, but it seemed like it was quite ruthless, kind of BTCC style there from Cooper, just kind of taps him out of the way there. But he makes the mistake nonetheless for third. As here we are now on the final lap of the race, and here is your race leader, Florian Volker. Well, as you can see so far, the race wasn't particularly exciting. I suppose there was probably a bit more action than last year happening, but I mean that's not really that much, to be honest. But anyway, so Volker currently leading this race. He'll extend his lead in the point standings. Volker, who obviously retired after that crash with Michael Macho, he would have been really annoyed that he'd lost his point scoring streak that he'd scored in every race so far. But it looks like that will continue today, that he'll have scored in every race except for the Italian Grand Prix as they come through the hairpin for the final time. As Volker is ahead of, I believe that is Jamie McKenzie, I think it is. So he's lapped a lot of cars so far in this race. And I mean, they've lapped obviously all up to 4th, so quite amazing they've lapped that many cars. It doesn't usually happen in any of the Grand Prix. But anyway, Volker is coming through the hairpin as he comes through into the second to last chicane, the penultimate chicane. And now he comes through under the stadium, where on the left hand side on the river is a football pitch. As he comes through the tunnel, and now he comes into the final chicane. And Florian Volker, who would have been disappointed to have lost his point scoring streak last week, but it's going to continue this week. And Florian Volker comes round the final corner, and Florian Volker is going to win the Singapore Grand Prix to take one step closer towards the championship. So well done to him. McKenzie comes home in 5th place, 1 hour 47 minutes that race. So that was a very, very long and tiring race for these guys. As now Alex Southgate will come through and take a decent point scoring position for Mercedes. He'll come through in 6th place. As now Will Neller will come home in 7th. Not exactly the race he would have wanted after, obviously, the Italian Grand Prix, with all the emotions, with obviously his grandfather sadly passing away, but also winning in front of the Tifosi. Unfortunately, it doesn't get better for him, as Mikael Scal comes home in 2nd place, but at least he'll get some points, I should say. Amar Carr finally takes another point scoring finish. He comes home in 8th. Adam Wolf is in 14th, with George Roke in 15th. Bad races from those two drivers. Vigor Hulks is set to just miss out on the points with 9th place, but at least they'll get a top 10 Basalva. So he comes through and he'll take 9th place. Unfortunately, just dropped off after the battle with Southgate, Niller and Carr. Michael Moncho comes home in 16th place, with Robert Ionescu just behind in 10th. Jordan Maturin comes home in 17th place, right at the back. As behind him is his teammate of Killian Bryce. They will come home in 18th, and Waze Kuba is set to take a podium after starting in 13th place. So he made up 10 positions. So a great race from Waze Kuba. So he comes through and he'll take a podium result for Ferrari. So that'll be good for him and also good for the whole Ferrari team. As Roman Clark will come home and take a pretty impressive 11th place. As there's a car from that. That's Jordan Maturin has crashed, and that is after the checkered flag. So I don't know if he's just crashed with a mistake or if he's had a problem. I don't know. So I don't know what's going on there with him, but at least he has made it to the finish regardless. So let's have a look to see what happened as he was just coming through turn 1. And he did have a problem. It was a brake problem that he had. So, well, fortunately that at least he had it after the finish line, or he might have actually had it going across the line, but I don't know. But regardless, he manages to get across the line before the problem forced him to stop. So well done to him, at least for getting there. But they won't be happy about him wrecking the car over the line. Quad comes home in 11th. 4th is Sontag, and 12th is Sam Thompson. And Roland Moyton will come home in 13th place. And that is, I believe, everyone across the line. I think it is. So Sontag gets 4th place there. There's Moyton. And there is your winner of this race, Florian Volker, taking another step closer toward the championship. This is the race that he really, really wanted to win. And he won it, probably you could say, thanks to Gal having hit the wheel of Finish Strachan after him crashing early on in the race. But anyway, here are the full race results. So Volker wins ahead of Gal 2nd, Cooper 3rd, and Sontag 4th, with all the following drivers being a lap down. McKenzie 5th, Southgate 6th, Neller 7th, Carr 8th, completed the points, Hulse 9th, Ionescu 10th, Quag 11th, Thompson 12th, Moyton 13th, Wolf 14th, Roke 15th, Mocha 16th, Maturin 17th, Bryce 18th, with Strachan, Byrne, and the two Willows brothers both retiring. So now we will go and see the fastest lap. So Volker's at the fastest lap by over half a second, with Gal 2nd, Cooper 3rd, Southgate 4th, Strachan, impressive pace from him in 5th, Willow 6th, Sontag 7th, Wolf 8th, McKenzie 9th, Ionescu 10th, Niller 11th, Hulse 12th, Moyton 13th, Carr 14th, Byrne, Quag, Thompson, James Wells, Kenny Bryce, George Roke well off the pace there in 20th, and then Maturian and Michael Mocho. So here are the point standings. So Florian Volker has a 29-point lead over James Willis in second place, who's 3 points ahead of Miklos Gal, who is in turn 7 points ahead of Will Neller, who's 4 ahead of Waze Kuba, with Joseph Willows 16 points behind, with Sontag 10 points behind him. Southgate 9 points behind on 25. Evan Byrne 9th with 24. Mackenzie 10th with 23. Wolf 11th with 11. 12th is Moyton with 11 as well. Holst with 9. Sam Thompson 14th with 8. Strachan and Roke 15th and 16th with 6. Mocho 17th with 4. Amar Carr 18th with 4. Ionescu with 3 points. Maturing with 1 point. Quag and Bryce with 0 points. Red Bull have got a comfortable lead over Ferrari in the constructors, who are 10 points ahead of McLaren as well, so that battle could still go on for second place, but first place is probably secure. Fourth is Mercedes, 12 points ahead of Renault, who are in turn well ahead of Williams, nearly 30 points ahead of Williams, 28 that is to be exact. Well, actually, 28, yeah, I should say. Force India just 2 behind, so that battle could still go on, with Sauber also behind in 8th. So there could still be a battle there going on for 6th in the constructors. 9th is Toro Rosso with 7 points, Lotus 10th with 4, and Virgin 11th with 1 point. It was obviously all the constructors getting a point so far this season. Well, that has been the Singapore Grand Prix. I hope you guys enjoyed. I apologise if it wasn't the greatest of races, but I mean, that is to be expected, sadly, of Singapore. But I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to vote for your driver of the day. You should know this by now. And obviously give the race a rating out of 10. So thank you very much for watching, guys, and we will see you for the next round of the championship, the Japanese Grand Prix at Suzuka. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you there. Goodbye.